Hello everyone, this is Joshua again for Multival. Today we're going to do another video. This time it's revised from the Pythagorean method. And the reason I'm doing this video is that one of my subscribers found a mistake almost at the end, and I found, like, I did it again and saw what the mistake was. It's a silly mistake and it doesn't affect the other videos, but it's still a mistake, and I'm gonna just cover the whole video again from the beginning. I think, you know, those were my first videos and they were like a little low quality, so today we're gonna do something of higher quality, but it's the same thing. It's the same video, the same information. So if you already seen it, just, you don't have to see it again unless you want to know what the mistake was. Like I said, it was on the end, but without talking anymore, let's just go straight to the problem. It says a letter size sheet of white paper 8.5 inches times 11 inches is folded in a way that corner A, so here I have my corner A, touches the opposite edge at point E. The folded portion is called the crease. Find the minimum length of the crease C. Okay, so for the Pythagorean method, we're going to be using the Pythagorean theorem. That's why it's called the Pythagorean method. So let's start. So let's start with the relationship between the crease, y, and x. Okay, that's a right triangle, so it's going to be x squared plus y squared equals c squared. Okay. And now we have another right triangle in this section. So you got z squared plus 8.5 minus x squared equals x squared. And you also have this right triangle, which is 8.5 squared plus y minus z squared equals y squared. Okay, let me put the camera over here so you can see me. So now we're gonna start with this one. Okay, so we have 8.5 squared is 72.25 plus y minus z squared, we FOILed, right? You get y squared minus 2yz plus z squared equals y squared. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. So this, let me just label it. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. This is equation 3. Okay. So this one was from equation 3. So we got this one from equation 3. We're gonna let's call this one equation 4 because we're gonna use it later. Now equation 2, I'm gonna expand it also. So you have equation 2, z squared plus 8.5 minus x squared is a FOILed also. So you got 72.25 minus 17x plus x squared equals x squared. Okay, so I expanded equation 2, and now notice that the x squares, I can move it to the right as a subtraction. You're left with z squared plus 72.25 minus 17x equals 0. Okay, now we can isolate for z squared. So z squared equals 17x minus 72.25. Okay, now we can use z squared and we can also use z. Okay, So z is the square root 17x minus 72.25. Okay? Now, notice that I use only the positive square root because z is a length, and length are always greater than or equal than 0. Greater than 0, to be exact. Okay? So now, these two z's, I'm going to plug them into equation 4. Okay? So I'm going to plug in z squared, and I'm going to plug in z. So I'm going to have y in terms of x. Okay? So if we do that, if we plug in z into equation 4, which is this one right here, you have 72.25 plus y squared minus 2y. Now instead of z, I'm going to substitute what z is in terms of x, which is 17x minus 72.25. And then instead of plus z squared, I'm going to substitute what z squared is, which is 17x minus 72.25, and that's equal to y squared. Okay? So now, again, just like the previous equation, the y squares are going to cancel. The 72.25 and the minus 72.25 is going to cancel also. So you're going to have negative 2y square root of 17x minus 72.25 plus 17x equals 0. Okay? And now I'm going to isolate for y. So you got negative 2y square root of 17x minus 72.25 equals negative 17x. Okay? Now we divide by negative 2 and we get, or let's divide by negative 2 square root of 17 minus 72.25 on both sides. You get y equals negative 17x divided by negative 2 square root of 17 minus 70, oops, that's minus, 17x, shouldn't forget that, 17x minus 72.25, and notice that the negatives and the negative becomes positive. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5 x divided by the square root of 17x minus 72.25. Okay? So if you see the previous video, everything is exactly the same thing. I haven't changed anything. There's no mistake here. Now, if we go back to equation, what's the number I gave it? Equation 1, right? X squared plus y squared equals c squared. You're going to have, so if I plug in equation 1, you have x squared plus y squared. Now y is in terms of x, so y squared is 8.5x divided by the square root 17x minus 72.25 squared equals c squared. Okay? So let's keep going. X squared plus 8.5x squared is 72.25x squared divided by 17x minus 72.25 equals c squared. Okay? Now finding the common denominator between x squared and this fraction, which is 17x minus 72.25, you get x squared times 17x minus 72.25 plus 72.25 x squared divided by 17x minus 72.25. Okay? So let's move to the right. Let me erase this implication sign because it's actually an equal sign. Okay? So this is equal. Now, we distribute the x squared. So we got, let me continue from here. C squared equals 17x times x squared is 17x cubed minus 72.25 x squared plus 72.25 x squared. Everything divided by 17x minus 72.25. Okay? Which equals, notice that these two cancel and you're left with 17x cubed divided by 17x minus 72.25. Okay? Now, in the previous video, this is where I made a mistake because then I simplified incorrectly. The correct simplification is the following. Notice that 17 is 2 times 8.5 times x cubed. The same thing here. X. And then 72 is 8.5 squared. So what should have happened is that I will factor 8.5 on numerator and denominator, and I'm left with 2x cubed divided by 2x minus 8.5. Okay? So in the previous video, instead of a 2, I had 8.5, which make no sense at all. So I appreciate the comments about the correction. This video is for you. So now you understand that it's not 8.5, it's actually 2x cubed. So now C becomes the square root of 2x cubed divided by 2x minus 8.5. Okay? And so this is my crease function in terms of x. Okay? Now, that's it. That was the mistake. So instead of a 8.5 on the numerator, I have a 2, not an 8.5. Okay, so thank you again, guys, for watching. I hope this made more sense to you. If you have any other questions, any other about the subject or about anything else in mathematics, let me know and I'll be more than happy to help you. Have a great day, guys.